Yes, it's true. I did get a haircut today.
Hey everyone, I'm Ryan.
And I'm Steven. This is 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing
Podcast.
Podcast.
That's right. That's what we do around here. We've been doing a podcast for 11 years. We're probably going to do it another 11 years. Who knows? Maybe 22 more years.
Yeah.
Until we're dead.
I plan on dying on camera in this garage.
You know what? Me too. And we'll do it together.
All right. And then,
all right.
And then RJ will get the card and make sure it gets published.
Exactly. When that happens, RJ, please edit the episode for us and publish it.
Yeah, that'll be the first episode you get to edit.
Wow, we're starting this episode super duper dark. Let's take a look at the.
I'm 3.
Yeah, you've been twisting the wrong knob over there, which is what I've been saying to you for 11 years.
That's I usually switch the cables, so anyway.
We started dark,
People
and now
like, what are you even?
Now we're getting blue. Okay, what's the first ad? I forget already.
The first ad is from Chris Sell. So PRS Tremonti SE electric guitar customized. First, let me say this guitar functions.
Go ahead.
Just fine and sounds good. Secondly, let me say that what you're about to see, I did not do.
Yeah,
the guy who owned this guitar before me took it into a room full of power tools and crystal meth and stayed in there for a couple days. This is the result. I had this idea to take it and sand it all down and get someone to hook it up to a fractal burner and put all those lightning looking burns across it. Of course, you would never.
That was his plan?
Yeah, that was his
plan. He needs to stop talking. Like, you're having bad ideas too, dude.
Yeah. Of course, you would never do this to a new guitar, but this guy did what he did. So anyway, I was going to try to make something crazy. I never got the time, so it's yours for $150. No case. I repeat, no case. You're interested in the case in the photos. I would sell that separately for $50.
Why did he put the photos in the case?
Yeah, why don't you just sell the whole thing for $200?
How much for the cabinets?
Yeah.
Are those included?
Yeah. How much for this little, it looks like some jeans maybe.
So a little bit of a backstory. This was not initially sent to us the traditional way through the email address. This person posted this on a subreddit, and I was like, you need to send this to the show. And I didn't even give him the email address. He figured out on his own, or he's already a viewer or something like that. And he replied, just did it. So thank you for being familiar enough with me as a person on Reddit to put 2 and 2 together and send us the ad.
Is this in a subreddit that we are not naming?
I'm assuming it's Guitar Circle Jerk, but I can't actually remember for sure, and I don't want to misspeak. But I'm
sure it's not from our own subreddit?
I don't think it was.
Okay.
I mean, who knows? Who knows, right? But this is wild. So let's explain what we've got here for the audio listeners. We still have, what, 2,000-3,000 audio listeners every week?
Just click the Imgur link, guys. Just click it. It's right
there.
But
we have to compel them to do that by explaining what we're looking at, because otherwise they might not take that step. We've got a PRS SE Tremonti here. You're about to embrace the thing with arms wide open, because it has been modified in some wild ways. It's been given an arm carve. This is a single cut Les Paul style thing that already has like a carved top to it. And they took what I'm assuming was a belt sander and just kind of attacked it to give it a huge arm carve. Yeah, and then they said, you know what this needs? It needs a monkey grip. But not really for a monkey, for a gorilla. And instead of connecting the holes, we're going to make it so that the gorilla's really got to spread out all its giant fingers. Yeah. They just drilled 4 giant holes where there could be a monkey grip. And they moved a bunch of stuff around.
I looked at that and I thought, like, well, you know what, those 4 holes from the front, like, that's actually not the worst I've seen. And then I got to the picture of the back.
Oh, it's bad on the back.
Totally chipped out on the back. Like,
they use this with like a giant hole saw sort of thing. and it just completely chipped away the wood in the back. And you thought that this wasn't so bad when you looked at it? Like,
I'm saying, like, oh, they from the front.
It's awful from the front
just
too.
The holes, they're clean holes.
I mean, Steve does appreciate a clean hole.
They're free of disease. I just realized that there's only 2 of the 4 knobs.
No, well, I think what happened is I think they were monkeying around with moving the switch. I don't think the switch was originally on the upper carve, on the upper bout over here before.
No, I think it was because it's got the back thing.
Oh, maybe you're right.
I don't think they added that.
Maybe you're right. Yeah, you're probably correct about that. So yeah, maybe they took it down to 2 knobs from 4, which
master volume, master tone.
You can do. That's really the selling point of this guitar at this point. You get this guitar, you can do whatever you want to it.
It's $150. You're gonna get some good bones.
You're gonna get them good bones with this guitar.
What's left of those good bones? I think this guitar has at least one last breath left,
and it is
in it.
Guaranteed to be the lightest PRS SE Tremonti of this model year ever, because wood has been removed in more than 2 ways, at least 5 ways. We've got 1 hole, another hole, a 3rd hole, a 4th hole, and then that whole arm carve bit. This thing's at least 5 to 6 ounces lighter.
In the listing, the seller says that
1 hole is 1 ounce, 5 ounces lighter.
That this person went down to the basement and, with a drill and some crystal meth or whatever, power tools and crystal meth, he was just trying to make a guitar that would take him higher than he already was.
Oh my gosh. Will you take me?
Are you know what this guitar is for, Ryan? If you just feel stuck in a rut and you're like, man, I am trapped in my own prison.
No, stop.
This is the guitar for you.
Stop.
This is the guitar for you.
I don't want to remember those songs. I intentionally have not heard those songs in probably 20 years at this point. I was trying to avoid them when they were hot on the radio. I didn't want to hear them then.
This guitar.
Did we have a price for this, or did he just?
It's $150. This guy's looking at this and he goes, the damage to this guitar, this low price,
no,
it's my sacrifice.
Come on, stop it.
That's all I got. Those are all the Creed songs that I know.
$150 if you've ever wanted to modify a PRS and do bad things to it. I think that's a decent price to start at for this thing. I'm trying to think of what I would do to save this for myself, to make it interesting for myself. You could try to plug those holes. He definitely used some sort of, contractor's hole cutter thing that's for doorknobs or something like that. I bet you can find a dowel that's the exact right dimensions and just get them in there.
Or just get a bunch of toothpicks.
I would continue sanding off the entire top of this. Get rid of the flame. Get rid of the flame completely. Take it somewhere. Pay $1,000. Completely cover the entire body in bird inlays. Just go full bird.
Abalone preferred.
Bird to the max.
Yeah.
Abalone birds.
Abalone birds.
Abalone.
That doesn't work.
It doesn't work at all.
Why did you even attempt that?
I thought I would give it a shot. It worked better than I thought it would, and it still wasn't great. Yeah. Abalone. Abalone.
I think you got to squeeze it in. You got to go bird, abalone, bird, abalone, bird.
Is this the best episode of the year? It feels like we're doing something significant here.
Somehow it's not the worst. I don't know how. I agree. You just gotta sand this thing. The back might not be. You might just be hosed on the back. I mean, you can sand that out too. I guess just totally.
Oh, it'll buff right out.
Just no, I mean that's kind of what you got to do. Like,
you know what? It's warming up to be a really nice belly curve right there. So just
no, exactly.
Attack that whole area with your belt sander.
Between the arm carve on the front and then you do a belly carve on the back, you've basically got an Ibanez S
or you just
series.
Drill more holes. Just keep going all the way around the body. Drill more holes. That's the secret to saving this.
Just take the bottom edge of those holes. That's the new waistline. You just take the holes all the way out. Just cut them out.
Well, I was looking at it like, could I save this by giving it like a violin cut and doing like something fancy, like take it in like a Stradivarius direction there. And I don't think it would work quite right. I mean, it's possible, but I don't think it's quite right.
We haven't even touched on the attempt at satinization of the neck.
Well, that's the most normal thing on here.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, that's actually not too bad.
Right. Like that's understandable because that's a comfort sort of thing. They really rubbed all the paint off the back of the neck there. But just, I get it. Like I actually think that looks kind of fine. I think it looks cool actually. Maybe that's the look to try to match, is just like really light sandpaper, blend everything, like blend that arm carve a little bit, make it look like a natural relic that happened because you were playing and you had, rough forearm, rough skin.
Such a natural relic to wear off the entire lower bout.
Yeah. And then those holes just fell out because you were playing so hard.
So hard. Perfect holes.
And then he thought the way to save this thing was to do the electrocution thing, is to like, to like, might as well throw a resin river in there while you're at it. Like,
fill the holes with resin.
Fill the holes with resin.
Fill the holes with resin.
It's right there. Why didn't I think of that? You want the whole trifecta of all the dumb things you can do, not just to a guitar, but to tables.
Just don't even finish stripping it. Just put resin in those holes and then only do the fractal electric whatever thing to the bout, to the arm carve.
Right.
Perfect. I love it.
I mean, if you could do the electric thing just right, maybe you could make it look like the electricity is like blasting out of the finish into the wood.
Right.
Or blasting out of those holes.
If you could do it just right, it would just feel like it was anointed by Scott Stapp himself.
It got that Scott Stapp electric tap.
Wow.
I don't know why I put those words together, but they felt good. Got that Scott Stapp electric tap. Put that on a shirt. He doesn't even play the guitar in his band. Does he ever like strum an acoustic or something like that?
He probably does.
He probably does when he's songwriting, but I don't think I've ever seen him holding a guitar. It's always Mark Tremonti cracking guitars in half while he's half underwater. You have to be half underwater to crack a guitar in half. It's the rule of halves.
Is that a thing from one of the videos?
Yeah, I have a memory of that from like 1999 or whenever that music video came out. There was like a Guitar World article about it because the internet didn't have articles about guitars yet. It was just forums.
I searched for Scott Stapp guitar and got a picture of George Harrison.
You know what? Sounds like Google's cooking tonight.
Yeah.
It fixed it for you. It's like, are you sure you don't mean someone else?
Oh, apparently it appears he has never been photographed with a guitar.
So do you think this one's going to win it, Steve?
I don't know.
It felt pretty good for an opener. By the way, if you're new to the show and you're not aware, every single episode we cover listings from the used world of guitar, from Craigslist, eBay, Reverb, etc., etc., etc. We cover 3 of them that are sent by you, the viewer. And at the end of the episode, we'll pick our favorite of the 3, and we send that person a $25 virtual gift certificate printed on heavy digital cardstock to the retailer or fast food establishment of your choice. Steve takes care of that. I don't.
Yep.
But it's all paid for by our Patreons.
That's right.
So huge thanks to our Patreons for supplying us with the funds to bribe people to supply us with content.
Yeah, and speaking of, this episode is brought to you by Reverb. What?
I almost did a spit take all over the Roadcaster.
Yeah, this episode's brought to you all by Reverb.
You're telling me right now that our used guitar listing podcast that we've been doing for 11 years is suddenly officially sponsored by Reverb.com?
That's right.
Steve, this feels like something that you've been working on behind the scenes for a long time.
I hard sold this at NAMM. And I've been... they've been doing some things. Full transparency. This is going to be the worst opening ad. I'm going to get an email from them being like, "What the hell was that?" I've been really slow at responding to their emails because I was simultaneously so excited and so anxious about screwing it up. That being said, I use Reverb all the time. You see it on the show just to check like used prices and stuff. But I've found that a lot of things that I can't find locally, if I want it, it's on Reverb.
Right.
For gear.
Like I was listing stuff locally today. I was listing stuff on OfferUp and it's like, how do I figure out the price of this? Reverb. Reverb is like the definitive price guide now. It used to be eBay because you look at completed listings. Reverb makes everything easier.
Yeah.
Like you just go there and you can look at the trends on everything and be like, well, I think this is a fair price. Whenever I list stuff on Reverb, when I like sell pedals on there and stuff, I just look at what I do is I look for the cheapest one and I just go $1 cheaper. That's how I price things to be competitive. I want it to sell. I'm not trying to make more money than anyone.
Sure.
So I'm sure you have all sorts of pitches in mind for this first sponsorship with Reverb. You want to take a crack at it, Steve?
I just want to talk about Reverb. Like I got that. I bought that Roni recently. I would not have been able to buy that, I don't think, without Reverb. It probably would have ended up on some local marketplace just rotting away. But because Reverb exists, the person who sold it was like, I'm going to get the biggest reach that I can. I'm going to put it on Reverb. And lo and behold, I found it. Good price, quick negotiation. Well, one of the things that I always appreciate about Reverb, even though I've never had to use it, everyone I've heard talk about it, because all the communications are in the website. They will help you out. Like if you get burned.
Oh, totally.
So I think that's like a really big
having
feature,
the protections built in. And, we've encountered people in our community who've had to go through that process before and stuff like that. It's always going to be frustrating if you get taken or like something goes sideways, but it's nice to know that they actually have structures in place over there.
So click the link below, go search for something that you want to buy. Go look for it on Reverb.
Or like, seriously, guys, go on Reverb and find ads to send us to cover on the show. And we're going to send you money if it's the best one. You earn some money to spend on Reverb. Maybe we can even do Reverb gift certificates. Who knows?
I haven't pitched it, but
maybe. I'm not asking you to pitch it. I'm wondering if they have gift certificates.
Oh, I don't know. I've never looked.
We should look.
I have done them. Reverb has gift cards.
There we go. Perfect.
Reverb has gift cards.
All right.
I've sent them. I definitely know they exist. This episode's also brought to you by another company that I believe has gift cards, Chase Bliss.
That's right. I know that it's already too late to buy your mom a Chase Bliss pedal for Mother's Day. We pitched that last week.
Yeah. But Father's Day is coming.
That's right, Steve. Dads and Grads is upon us. And who doesn't love Chase Bliss more than grads or dads? That is their top demographic.
Yeah.
If you got a dad or a grad or a dad that is a grad in your life, get them a Chase Bliss pedal.
People are always looking at Chase Bliss pedals and they're way too complicated. Well, if you're a grad,
right,
you're probably a smart fella who can or lady feller.
Yeah.
What's a woman feller?
A folk. I call people folks.
Folks is everybody.
That's what I'm saying.
All right. Anyway, you got that diploma. You can figure out a Chase Bliss pedal. You're a dad. You probably like to tinker with stuff.
If you're I'm
a dad. I'm always poking.
What do dads love more than manuals?
Yeah.
Nothing. And they've got amazing manuals.
That's
you want to crack a really well-designed manual? Chase Bliss pedals. Dads and Grads 2025.
Head on over to the website. Get on their mailing list. That's it. That's the pitch.
What Chase Bliss pedal would you buy for your dad or grad?
For my grad, probably some kind of like the Billy Strings womb tone. Do they still sell that one? I think they do. For a dad, depends on the dad. Maybe like some kind of reverby thing, like a Dark World. Does a Dark World still exist?
Yeah,
I forget. I can't remember which ones got caught up in that whole Europe killing, trying to put Chase Bliss out.
I mean, we can agree that the Thermae is the Mother's Day one.
Yeah.
I'm going to leave it up to the audience. You tell us in the comment section which Chaseless pedal is best for dads and which Chaseless pedal is best for grads.
Yeah. Ryan.
Mm-hmm. Was that a good sponsorship?
People asked us to talk about this 2 weeks ago.
Probably longer ago. This is super late breaking news. We're only doing it because Rick Beato got 1 million views.
Yeah. Did he really?
Tattling.
Did he really?
He really did. I saw it pop up on my YouTube feed and it's like 1 million views. Oh man, you guys just love giving ad revenue to Rick Beato over there. I wish I had a video with 1 million views that were all I did. I didn't even watch the thing. I'm just assuming what happens in it. Where all I did is like, oh yeah, I had this guy on my show and he sucked so bad I didn't publish the video. And now I'm going to tell you about it because I make $10,000 every time I publish a video.
So I don't remember how long ago it was. And apparently I don't have YouTube on my iPad, which is weird. So I can't look it up. But Danny Sapko broke, originally Levi Clay was contacting this dude and being like, hey, what are you doing? I recognize these riffs. These aren't yours.
You stole my riffs.
And then then Levi Clay flagged up to Danny Sapko. Danny Sapko, who's a bass YouTuber, made a whole video on basically the same thing, saying these aren't your riffs, but you're selling them like they're your riffs.
Because this guy was selling tabs.
Because he was selling tabs.
Right. Isn't it like anyone can play anyone's riffs in a YouTube video as long as you don't play them perfectly, because then the bots will get you. That wasn't the issue. The issue was that this guy was building a business off of selling tablature to other people's compositions.
And even like taking the idea of like if somebody's riff is like, oh, doodle-doodle-doodle, and you're like, oh, I really like that. I'm going to put it in my song. My song's going to have this part that goes doodle-doodle-doodle, but the rest of my song is different. So that's like kind of okay. And I can say it's inspired. But what he was doing is like basically taking all the backing tracks and everything.
Right.
And, oh, this is a 4/4, like, and he'd just run with it. Like he wouldn't even do the Vanilla Ice thing. He wouldn't even make it go
right.
Like he didn't even make it Vanilla Ice Ice Baby, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that whole thing. So that's what Danny Sapko hit him for. Rick's angle was hilariously different.
What Steve is just saying is like, if you're gonna do stuff like that, you've got to stop, collaborate,
and listen. Yeah, and that was the other thing is like he wasn't even initially he wasn't even saying like, hey, this is a riff from this other guy. Eventually he would say, this is a riff inspired by this other guy. But it's like, when it's a note for note, it's not really inspired. Okay. So flash forward like 2-3 weeks, Rick Beato gets a ton of comments. When are you going to talk about this? When are you going to talk about this? When are you going to talk about this? People going in his like Spotify top 10 videos. Yeah. Who cares about Spotify? What about Giacomo Tura? Right?
Everyone wants to know your hot take.
Everyone wants to know his hot take. So Rick goes, I didn't really want to make this video, but I'm going to make this video. So I interviewed.
Oh, it really twisted his arm. Yeah. Oh, I didn't want to make a video today, but everyone insisted.
Jeez, man. And basically, so I'm listening to him, and his angle is a little different. And the comments in his videos were a little different, because Rick's thing was kind of saying like, yeah, he plays these other guys' riffs, and some of the things where he's miming in all of his Instagram videos, but everybody is like, you're doing those to kind of promote your courses or whatever. So it's not that big of a deal. And when you go back to like the Ed Sullivan show, a lot of those artists were miming, and some artists, famously, was it Nirvana, like trashed the stage on some late night show they were on because
right. There's a long history of people pantomiming, to pre-recorded performances. And
was it Mackenzie Phillips was like eating a sandwich from the Mamas and the Papas?
Totally.
Something like that.
There's a long, rich history of people doing that stuff.
So he's like, you know what? That's just part of the business, right? Rick's issue, and where he like I felt like this is one of the most savage things I've seen in guitar YouTube ever, is he goes, I brought Giacomo into my studio and we sat down and did an interview. And then I told basically like I'm maybe adding a little bit, but basically he goes, I told my producers when we were done, or I told my people when we were done, just cut it. This guy's not good enough to be on my channel.
Oh my gosh.
Like, and the issue that, because people in the comments for this video were like, well, you've had this person, that person. The person I saw brought up was, he can't be worse than Willow Smith. But the difference is,
did he have Willow Smith on his show?
He had Willow Smith on his show.
Did he really?
Yeah, apparently. I haven't seen that one, but I guess he interviewed Willow Smith and it published. The difference is Willow Smith writes her own fucking music.
And doesn't sell the tab.
She doesn't steal it off of like Alex Hutchins. Is that the dude's name?
I don't know any of these people's names. I still don't know the name of the person we're talking about.
Giacomo Tura.
I'm never going to remember that. Yeah.
But the point is, like, ostensibly Willow Smith is at her core is a singer-songwriter.
Right.
Like
it's a different discipline.
Like she's not just,
or this guy
she's not selling herself as a guitar virtuoso.
Right.
Rick's issue isn't that the guy sucked at guitar. It's that the guy claims to be good at guitar and then couldn't hang when the lights were on.
Sure.
There were a bunch of comments in Rick's video that were saying that if you pay attention, it's really obvious that this dude, and I didn't look to back it up, so these are just the comments, that this guy records a lot of his stuff either in pieces,
right?
You know, 1 or 2 measures at a time.
He records Photoshop style,
or he records it like at 3/4 speed, or half speed, and then speeds it up.
That always sounds like harder to me. Like whenever people talk about speeding up recordings, like that sounds harder to me because it's sometimes it's harder to play slow because then you really have to like follow the pocket,
I think it's just because you're not playing fast enough yet, right?
Maybe
to understand
that's it.
How hard it is. Like if you took your playing speed and sped it up like 20%, then you would be playing as good as probably like Rhett Scholla.
But I think about like what I do that I consider fast playing, right, is like the Dick Dale style playing.
Sure. Like trem picking.
If you told me, Steve almost knocked over a full glass of water on a bunch of powered stuff over there. We almost died. At the beginning of is this a Final Destination episode?
I know.
We almost died, and now I can't think of what I was talking about. It's gone.
You're talking about how he plays kind of that neo-funk style and how that's different.
Okay, so if I took that Dick Dale style tremolo picking, and you told me play that at half speed,
it'd be hard.
That would feel impossible.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like ripping as fast as I can. But then to play it at half speed is like, okay, now I actually have to hit 8th notes. Yeah. And now I have to keep it in the pocket. Like that would feel impossible to me. But that's a whole other side tangent.
Yeah.
So back on this guy.
No, I would, here's like, this is what it is, right? And maybe a lot of people have experienced this. Like the stuff that he was playing, it's like if I took my ability to play pentatonics, right, which isn't very fast.
Sure.
But I can hit the notes, and I recorded it, and then I sped it up 20%, and all of a sudden I was as good as somebody who, like Mark Tremonti. Does he play a lot of pentatonics, I assume? I don't know.
I'm assuming he plays plenty of them. We all play him.
Yeah.
Come on, we all do it.
If you took my pentatonic playing and sped it up 20%, I could be as good as Ryan. The point
probably be less sloppy.
The point being that it's a weird thing in this business, and I kind of understand, because I just use the word business, why people do it. Like, just embrace what you're good at.
Also, like, of all the industries to enter into and try to cheat to make a living, there's not a lot of living to be made in the guitar music space. It's like, you can make a living. Clearly, I'm doing it somehow. But I have a really hard time imagining that the living that I'm making and the living that other content creators in the guitar space that I know are making is worth living a lie.
Sure.
Like living a full-blown fictitious situation. Like it doesn't feel worth it to me. And that's my biggest question. It's because now everyone's going to be looking and investigating every little, playing nuance of everyone that's on the internet. Like, oh, are they cheating? No one's going to think that about me. No one, no one like fake sucking on purpose. But what is even the motivation for cheating at art? Like, you can't even really. And when I pitched this angle for the topic to Steve, I was like, it doesn't make any sense to cheat at art because you can't cheat at art.
Right.
Because art is all this completely subjective in taste and in meaning and in value. But then the element of this that has given an opportunity for cheating, which still doesn't make sense to me because like the money's not there. This isn't sports where like you take steroids and now you're going to make $10 million this year. It's like, oh, you worked really, really weirdly hard to fake your playing with all your production tricks so that you still aren't making six figures this year. Like, that's my guess anyways. Maybe he is making more than six figures, but not a lot more.
He was doing like a national tour or something.
Or maybe he was doing great.
Doing some kind of tour. And I mean,
people do shady, dishonest stuff for less, obviously.
Right.
But this feels to me like a sports mentality coming into music, which is completely off-putting to me, which is also why I suck at guitar, is because I'm not competitive enough. But it's off-putting to me, and I'm sure people like me, where it's like, why are you trying to cheat to present yourself as having this certain skill level as a guitarist? Like, what does that gain you? There's no expression that gains you. There's no art that gains you. If you were doing this for art's sake, then it wouldn't be cheating. It would just be borrowing. It would be inspiration.
Right.
But you're lifting other people's pieces to sell the transcriptions of them. So, and then you're presenting your playing as you're good enough to come up with those compositions. It is cheating for the sake of business, or for the sake of like, is cheating. I'm working through this in real time. Can you tell?
Yes.
My brain is just like, the gears are clicking and grinding. I can smell them right now. It is cheating for the sake of presenting yourself as someone on a different level of skill.
Right.
For the sake of making more money.
Yeah.
That's what's going on here. And I just have a really hard time thinking about all the work that it takes to run this channel and all the work that it takes to run our friends' channels. Thinking like how that's even worth it when you could just be yourself. Like he's clearly skilled enough to just be himself, and he can transcribe things. He can run all the media. He can play guitar at some level. Like, all the time that he spent like transcribing things and working on the video production stuff to mime himself playing and things like that, it could have been spent just getting better. Like,
yeah, I think that there's certain, I mean, for what it's worth, like, getting better is hard.
It is, and sometimes it's impossible.
And I can definitely see how it would be. God,
I'd hate to be that guy right now. This everyone talking about him, just dragging him through the mud.
I feel like we're the last ones to it.
I know, and we're the ones. He's been left in the mud, and he's been laying there for weeks. Like, oh no, what has happened to my life? And we come by and
we're just like
continue the beating after everyone else left.
We're just like, Ryan, did we ever kick that guy?
Let's go find that guy and kick him while he's down. Maybe he's trying to get back up.
You see any dead horses around here?
Clearly he's got a work ethic. Clearly he's done a lot of work, and like, I don't think that should go to waste. I think he should continue having a work ethic.
This is the way that, like, I think about it is, say you are a really talented essayist,
someone who writes essays.
Did I say essayist? Say you're a very talented essayist, but you're not a good speaker. So
right.
you could practice speaking. You could practice your oratory skills where you breathe, work on your breathing, work on your elocution. Blake from the Tone Mob says he does voice exercises now.
Does he really?
That before he records, and that's all of this stuff, right? Stretching your face,
which is funny because he does interviews where he just sits and listens to other people talk,
and then he does the face stretches and I think he does like the vocal runs and stuff to make sure so he doesn't tighten up in the middle of an interview,
right,
and
you don't get a cramp,
and it helps with your I keep wanting to say elocution. I don't know if that's a word, but
pronunciation,
enunciation, all those kinds of things,
the different enunciation,
and you could say you're a good essayist and a good video editor and a bad speaker. You could spend the time becoming a better speaker, or you could become a better video editor and just edit out all of your bad speaking. And that kind of seems like what this guy did. Is he was like, well, I'm good enough that given enough time, I can get all these parts right. And then I can publish that.
He should be working on the in-house video side with some company. Like, he should be the one organizing the talent and organizing ad campaigns and stuff like that, because clearly he knows how to market himself.
Yeah, and his videos look really good.
Clearly he knows how to put together media. Like, he's clearly a skilled guy and professionally skilled in those areas. The mistake that I'm assuming that he made was he made himself the talent.
Right.
Where he should have been the person organizing the production.
Well, it seems like from some of the videos I watched, he is a talented enough.
I bet he's better than me.
And so it's
not hard to do.
That also plays into the idea
just be yourself.
Of if you've got the production and you've got all these things, and I'm not saying this went through his mind, I don't know, but in the style of music that he kind of is learning and kind of sits in, how do you set yourself apart from the Jordan Waves or the Paul David? Paul Davis does some funky stuff every once in a while. I've seen, how do you set yourself apart from these guys, or how do you catch up to these guys who have tons of followers and whatever?
But that's
what he did, is he shortcutted it.
But that's the thing, is like he treated it like sports. Yeah. And this isn't sports. This isn't a competition. Like as much as I like to rib Rick Beato for getting 1 million views on random videos or whatever, where he just sits and looks at a camera, like, I'm not trying to outpace Rick Beato.
No.
I don't even have a daydream about that. I'm not trying to outpace Phil McKnight. I'm not trying to outpace any of our friends' channels or anything like that. Like, I don't look at what we do here as like, I've got to beat that channel. I've got to get more views than I've got to have the most subscribers. Like, I know other people have that motivation, but I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I also think that there is a difference here, because he's one of the criticisms. I don't remember if it was, I think it might've been Rick Beato who said this. It might've been Phil McKnight. You mentioned both of them. And now I'm a little confused, who said that by posting his apology video on YouTube, he kind of cheated. It would be the equivalent of you screwing something up on YouTube and then posting your apology on TikTok.
Okay, because his main content is elsewhere.
His main content is on Instagram, where he's got, the hundreds of thousands of whatever followers. I don't know what he had on YouTube, but apparently it was a lot less.
To be fair,
I think that was Rick Beato who made that argument.
To be fair, YouTube is way more searchable.
It is more searchable, but like if that's not where your audience is.
If you're trying to find an apology video from a creator, it's going to be way easier to find that on YouTube than it is on any short form vertical scrolling sort of app.
No, I understand from that angle. I just think
he should have done a vertical version that was edited for time to be an Instagram reel or a TikTok short or something like that.
Yeah. He has 372,000 on Instagram.
That's plenty. That's what, like 10 times more than we have on Instagram? But
probably more.
We've never made money on Instagram. I don't know how people make money on Instagram. I guess just brand deals and stuff like that.
We've made small amounts of money.
I guess like little ad revenue streams and stuff like that. been paid like 3 times to make shorts, but it's never been like an income revenue source for us.
Right.
It's like, oh man, we got to really invest in Instagram. I guess if it was, we probably would have thrown our full backs into it, but
for whatever reason, his YouTube is not even coming up.
Well, you seem like you're having trouble with YouTube anyways.
Well, I don't have the app. I'm just in the browser.
Oh, okay. The app was the problem.
Well, I don't have the app.
Oh, well, we don't.
I just want to see the number.
Okay.
And I'm just saying, like, there's no account.
It's just all videos about him.
It's all videos
which
about
we're
him.
adding to that collection right now in real time. Well, you're watching this on probably a Monday or, day after a Monday. We're recording it on a Tuesday before that Monday.
So I wonder if, like, he just took his whole channel down, which means he posted an apology on his YouTube and then took it down. Maybe it's just
honestly, if I was him, let's talk about how to salvage his career.
Get good.
No, just keep going.
Yeah.
Don't stop. I mean, just keep doing your thing. Don't keep stealing people's songs and selling the tabs. You can still play riffs. You can just be honest about where stuff comes from. Ask permission if that's what's required. Just do the right thing, but still just be you. Make your content. You're clearly good at it.
Yeah. I mean, Ryan,
and eventually you make enough content, and that's what people see. People don't see all the other stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, it's a little painful to say this again, but I agree with Rick. You do owe your fan base an apology, and your fan base is on Instagram. I understand your point. He's doing it all in short form, which means maybe that video doesn't go out to everybody,
but it is there.
But to not do it on your number, and maybe he has since then, I don't know.
Who knows?
But at least
there's no way anyone could know.
To not do that, to not put that on your main platform, looks like you are just continuing.
It feels sketchy
to be Shady McShaderson.
You don't meet a lot of people with that name anymore. It's gone out of style. So anyways, what do you guys think? This is old news at this point. Maybe we brought something new to the conversation. Probably not. But let us know what you think in the comment section. Are we totally off base? Or are we on base? Boom, 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 boom.
Oh my gosh.
What's the next thing,
I feel like
Steve?
We didn't drive that topic the way that we wanted to, but that's okay.
We crashed it into a ditch.
This next ad is sent by Dave Zissou.
That's right, Steve. This was posted to our Facebook group, and I didn't even check to see if he emailed it to us. I just grabbed it and credited it to him. So if he wins today, you're going to have to track him down.
Up for sale, a 1970s Guyatone Mine Custom LG 780 in exceptional, 100% original condition and in perfect working order. This very rare, finely crafted Guyatone features a distinctive combination of SG-style aesthetics and Strat-style electronics. This tone wood complement includes a sandwich maple body, maple neck, and ebony fingerboard, and at 10 pounds, 1 ounce, holy smokes. This LG 780 dishes out plenty of natural note attack, treble cut, and rich sustain. LG 780 sounds like a phone model or a refrigerator or something.
A microwave.
It's got Alnico magnet single coil pickups to deliver sparkle and snap with bouncy twang at the bridge and a fuller chop at the neck. The middle pickup can be engaged via 3-way mini toggle for Strat styles, quack and neck plus bridge tones. This Guyatone Mine Custom has been professionally set up here at Mike and Mike's Guitar Bar with 1149 strings, low action, accurate intonation, a bunch of other words. They are asking $1,800. This is on Reverb.com.
Oh, sponsor of the show. Believe it or not. Here we go.
$135 shipping.
And it's $1,800. So we're looking at a $2,000 guitar here. I think this thing looks amazing. I think this thing looks beautiful. Can you see what's different about this versus a regular SG, Steve? I mean, clearly it's not.
It's got 3 single coil pickups.
It's also symmetrical.
It's a bit more symmetrical.
It's more symmetrical than an SG. This to me looks like if they had just gone like, hey, let's just give it one volume knob and put it behind the bridge, this would have been like a shoe-in for an ambidextrous guitar. Flip it any way that you want.
It's kind of given me like if Gibson designed the Telecaster vibes.
Sure. I want to know how the switching works, because we've got a 3-way switch. Yep. And then there's a little extra toggle switch. So I'm wondering that 3-way switch, maybe that selects.
Ryan, I literally read.
It said what it does. I was just looking at it and daydreaming.
Now they say a 3-way mini toggle, but that mini toggle does look like it would be a 2-way. But it says the middle pickup can be engaged via 3-way mini toggle for Strat style clack and neck.
So you can't have the middle pickup by itself alone. It's bridge or bridge and neck, or bridge and middle and neck, or bridge and middle, or neck and middle,
or neck and bridge. You can turn the middle off, but you can't
isolate it. You can't isolate it.
That's the way it reads. Yes.
Something about this that really caught my attention too is that it's doing the Alameda Guitars thing with the Strat bridge behind a bridge. It's got 2 bridges going on. And I tagged Mel in the Facebook post, and he's like, "Oh, they're doing it too." Like, this way predates Mel's designs, obviously, but it's like, that's amazing that someone else was doing this. Also, this is the only time I've seen an ashtray cover on a Strat style bridge and been like, "Yes, that works. That makes sense." Because I like to palm mute my strings from the bridge saddles, and I've always seen like the Strat ashtray cover bridges and been like, I would get rid of that immediately. Even the fact that it's gold works here. Like, the gold is tarnished in a really nice way. Sometimes gold gets really super gross, but the whole thing just works visually. I love the star inlays. Like, this is a rock star guitar. It probably sucks because it hasn't been played hard enough. That's how you know it sucks, is that it still looks like it's in really good condition. But man, it's so cool looking. There's so much to like here. Even the weird long headstock is fun. It's doing that kind of like Yamaha Samurai thing, but a little bit different. Instead of a Samurai headstock, it's a Ginsu headstock.
Ginsu?
You know, like the knives?
Ginsu knives?
It just needs a little bit of serration on the headstock, and then you'd get what I'm saying. It looks like a roast carving knife. It says Gaia Musical Products on the headstock, which is obviously from Guyatone.
Guyatone, Gaia, Moroli, LG.
I have no criticisms here, even with the funky pickup switching. Like, you just accept it as it is. I think it's really fun and interesting that the pickup spacing kind of follows like the SG mentality. Like the neck pickup isn't in a Strat neck position. It's pushed down into the body a bit the way that a SG neck pickup is, because there's not enough wood at the neck joint to accommodate it. And then the bridge pickup is like, it's at least 1.5 inches away from where it would have been on a Strat.
Right.
It's pushed away from the bridge a little bit. So this thing's going to have its own unique sound. It's going to have its own unique feel and own vibe going on.
It looks cool. Does it look $1,800 cool though?
I think that's a collector's thing. Guyatone collectors out there, I know that you're out there. I know that you exist.
We're watching you.
Guyatone fanboys and girls out there, fanfolk, Guyatone fanfolk. This thing, you probably already know everything about it, but for that price, I think that this looks like a really fun collectible.
Yeah.
I
got nothing else.
Thanks for sending it, Dave.
Yeah. And if you win, the payment. Wow. I read all those words so well, and now I can't talk.
You should have done Blake's exercises.
The gift card that you would win would be paid for by the Patreons.
That's right.
Because it's time to do some little housekeeping.
Here we go. Are you telling me that we have new Patreons?
We do. We have 2 new Patreons at the $1 level. We've got Wishing Machine.
A wishing machine?
And at the $1.50 level, we've got Josh.
Welcome to the club, Josh.
Yeah. Ryan.
Is that, so we only had 2?
We only had
You got me all worked up. I thought we were going to have like 18.
No, not this time.
Well, I'm happy that we got 2 more.
Yeah. Ryan.
Yes, Steve.
While we've been in here, the temperature of this room has gone up 2 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
Kind of wild.
Have you been keeping an eye on the humidity?
I have been.
The ships.
Oh, no, I've only been watching the temperature, not the humidity.
We finally got the update on the ship's like environmental measuring tool. What would you call that? Like we've got all these.
Is it like a light?
All
light
these
support?
instruments now. We've got a whole like control panel in front of us, and we can see the temperature and the humidity and
how loud we are.
How loud did that get, Steve?
108.
It's pretty loud.
I don't know if
you
that's
think
accurate.
you think I can beat it?
Probably.
How loud can I get?
Wow, 112, Ryan.
Wow.
Good job.
The rest of the ship is like, what the hell's going on in there right now?
You got anything new, man?
Oh, man. I've always got something new, but I can't ever think of it. No, I don't have anything new.
All right, well, what's new is what I was supposed to do last week. Last week we got this package from Tone Home, the Fuzz Bomber guitar pot fuzz, and the what's that? The fetish.
They're little. You replace your pots and your guitars with them, and they're built-in effects. This one is a boost, and obviously this one is a fuzz. And Steve bummed me out today because in a premiere chat for our last episode, it turned out that there was going to be a giveaway for these. I was like, oh no, we're giving them away. I don't get to try them. But then he revealed to me, not even an hour ago, that no, I get to keep these. I get to install them in something.
Oh,
what?
That's what the giveaway is. It's not for these. I'm screwing everything up.
Right, now I got to edit.
I've screwed it up again.
Okay, so Steve's about to clarify a giveaway situation.
We're not giving these away, but another giveaway is coming.
Okay.
From Tone Home. There, I fixed it.
There you go.
But go check out Tone Home. There are links below.
Another giveaway is coming. That sounds so vague, Steve. You can't give them any more information than that?
It's going to be a pedal.
There's going to be a pedal,
guys.
There's
going to be a pedal.
You see these and you're wondering, yeah, but will there be a pedal? Yeah, there's going to be a pedal.
You got anything new? I feel like you got something new. Do you got something new?
I listed a sacred cow today for sale.
We can talk about that once you sell it.
You think I should?
I don't know. Do you want to talk about it?
I listed the Fender Player Plus Strat, that really pretty green one. I have too many Strats. We'll talk about it when it sells. We'll talk about it when it sells. I'm not super happy about selling it, but the reality is I can't keep everything. So I'll talk about it when it sells.
This last ad was sent by Snarky. It's called Tape Fuzz.
Oh, this is fun.
Fisher-Price tape deck amp by Weird and Wired. This is on Reverb for $140, and it's in the UK, so the shipping is a bitch. This is a Fisher-Price tape player that has been modified into a guitar amp. This retro tape deck has been rewired for quarter-inch jack in place of the tape head, allowing you to plug straight in for a fuzzy lo-fi sound. It has an additional on-off toggle switch, and the volume control can be used to help dial in the sound from a full-on fuzz to a more tamed, driven tone. Requires 4 C batteries.
I know.
The casing has some light signs of wear use due to its modification. It no longer functions as a tape player. That's a bummer.
Well, no kidding. You plugged the guitar signal into the tape head. It's not going to play tapes anymore.
There's a YouTube demo. We're going to watch it.
Yeah. Play this one.
Hey, this is Danny from Weird and Wired, and this is a Fisher-Price tape player that I have turned into a guitar amp.
Not like that.
This has been modified by replacing the tape head with a quarter-inch jack, so we can now plug straight in for a dirty, fuzzy sound. We have an on-off switch as well as a volume control which can be used to help dial in the sound. I love these retro tape players and I love making tape deck amps. I think they can be a really cool tool to use in the studio if you want to get a bit creative or experimental, and I think they just make for great little practice amps as well. I always find the ideas that I come up with when plugged into something like this vary greatly from when I'm plugged into a conventional guitar amp. I'd love to know how you would use this Fisher-Price tape deck amp, so you let me know, and until the next time, keep it weird and keep it wired.
Okay. So before we go to the next video,
okay,
that sounded amazing, right?
Yeah.
You were expecting it to sound like a thin, brittle, like little honeytone amp or something like that, or like a little
kind of does.
Remember the little smoky amps that were in cigarette packs or whatever? That he recorded that with a phone no mic on the thing, you could hear his plucking, and it still sounded like a ripping fuzz, like guitar amp. I am wondering, is this going to be the hot new thing in dirt pedals, is taking tape heads out of tape players as a component, like not even taking them out, maybe finding new old stock tape head components somewhere and turning them into a component in a dirt pedal, because that sounded amazing. Click on the other one. This is on a more modern Fisher-Price tape player, and this one gets heavier and almost has like an octavey thing happening.
A retro Fisher-Price tape deck that I've turned into a guitar amp. I love making tape deck amps, especially with a retro Fisher-Price tape player. I think they're so colourful and quirky while simultaneously having a wildly fuzzy sound. This has been modified by replacing the tape head with a 1/4-inch jack so we can plug straight in and get a real dirty sound out of this. And we can also use the built-in microphone for some lo-fi vocals. I've added an extra output jack as well, so we can also use this with returns.
Okay, yeah.
You paint that thing yellow and black, and that's a third
no,
man.
Hold on.
I think that tape...
So if you can run this directly to an interface, that probably means you can also take that output into a guitar amp, which was my question. Because on the first one, it doesn't have that modification, but I was thinking like the output wattage on these things is probably low enough that you could use it like
as a pedal.
Right. Because it's just running off of batteries. So I think you do have a point. It's that you probably could take whatever the amplification circuit is in this and pull that out and then use that to
whatever component, whether it be the tape head or the internal amplifier.
I think the tape head is completely bypassed. I think the tape portion is completely bypassed. I think he's running. So instead of the tape,
okay. So okay.
How do tapes work? Do you know how tapes work?
Yeah, there's a magnetic tape, and then there's basically the tape head is a pickup.
Right. So I think it's bypassing that tape head, that pickup. It's replacing it with the guitar pickup.
Okay.
So the tape portion is completely out.
So then the output of the guitar must be so much hotter than the signal that would come out of the tape head, and that's why it's pushing into distortion.
Exactly.
I hate to say this because this one, the yellow one that we have all the pictures of, I had that one as a child. Like the nostalgia took me back on this.
Yeah.
That modern one, that sounds super great. Thick and heavy and octavey. Like you give that to Jack White, you give that to what's his name, the other guy from the other two-piece band with Heavy Fuzz.
The Black Keys.
The Black Keys. Like you play Black Keys riffs through that, or White Stripes riffs through that, and it's just gonna work. They sound really cool. Like you get to capture some nostalgia with these things.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
What a cool project. But yeah, like here's what they should do. He should reverse engineer these circuits and make a pedal, the Fuzz Price or the Fisher Fuzz or whatever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And it should have a switch, vintage and modern.
Oh, you're saying so like take both circuits and compare them.
Right. Figure out why the vintage one, the 80s one, sounds the way it does. Figure out it is probably the 4C batteries or D batteries.
I think the other one probably runs on the batteries too.
Yeah.
I like the little added on microphone. I like the idea of like plugging this whole thing in it, and then you hang this from your mic stand, and now that's your microphone that you're doing your vocals.
Super. It needs a cable extension for that mic, and then you can busk with that thing. I bet the more modern one takes like 8 AA's. Because that's like the difference between toys from my childhood and toys from my children's childhood.
Right.
You know, it's like, oh, which way are you putting $27 worth of batteries into this thing? Is it going to be with 4 D cells?
I mean,
or is it going to be with 18 AA's?
For what it's worth, this is still
that's a 90s one.
This is still a tape deck. You're comparing the difference between a product from your childhood versus like your brother's childhood.
I know. We probably had the modern one too.
Yeah, exactly.
If I had known I could turn them into fuzz pedals, into fuzz amps, Are you kidding me? The 80s one looks coolest though. It's got that like 1970s, 1980s futuristic brown and tan thing going on.
What you need to do, Ryan, is you buy both of them and then swap the boards.
I can't do that.
Probably doesn't even.
No, I buy them both and run them in stereo.
There you go.
Yeah, surround sound. We're burying the lead on this. This is a really good product here. I'm really stoked on these.
All right.
But seriously, dude, I commented on your video.
Oh, you did?
Today on Tuesday before releasing this on Monday. Dude, if you're watching this, if you don't have the ability to make a pedal, you should partner up with someone who can, because this is killer. You know, you got to get to market with this.
You know who could do this? You know who would probably be good for this? Hello Sailor Effects.
Hello Sailor.
Yeah.
What do I know from them?
It's just a dude in the UK.
Okay.
He's a sailor, or I don't know if he.
Hello.
I think he's still. I don't think he retired.
He's still sailing.
Still sailing. He's like in the Navy, so I guess all of his pedals. He was just on 40 Watt Podcast.
Oh, this is why you know about him.
Yeah.
I was like, have I worked with this person? Have I met them at NAMM?
He probably follows both of us on TikTok.
I feel bad.
I think he's been in our premieres before.
Okay.
But I was gonna say, like, this seems like his kind of wacky engineering challenge, based on his conversation with Philip.
Cool.
So,
well, now we've got a very hard job to do, Steve.
Do we?
Really, really hard. I
think we do,
because we've got these tape machine amps.
Yeah.
We have that really cool Guyatone. We have the weight relieved PRS. All of these things are super fun to talk about.
Okay. Here's my thought.
Okay.
We're going to spin the wheel. But before we can spin the wheel, we got to eliminate one. So can you pick one?
The one where if it was local and in front of me at a guitar shop and I'd buy it is one of those amps for sure.
Okay.
The one that I enjoyed talking about the most, probably the PRS.
Those are the two that I want to take to the wheel.
That's what we're taking to the wheel. I'll take the amps, you take the PRS.
Okay.
That sound fair? You spun last week, so I'll spin this week. Make sure the
wait, I'm taking the amps, you're taking the amps.
I'm taking the amps.
So R is amps.
R is amps.
Even though it would make more sense if I took the amps, since Snarky sent those in, and my name also starts with S.
Did Snarky send the... Oh, he did send the Fuzz.
I'm just saying it's a mnemonic.
I'm taking the amps.
Fine.
Listen, Snarky, I'm rooting for you. Steve doesn't believe in you. I believe in you. Yeah! We did it, Snarky! I know that'll make Snarky's day.
All right. This song was sent by Kylian. I hope I get that right. Kylie. I'm going to say Kylian. It's a Dutch name. Kylian from hey guys, Kylian from the Netherlands here. Guitarist and vocalist for the band Ardor Lane, fellow gear geek and big fan of the pod. I've spent the better part of a decade. We have a lot of listeners in the Netherlands.
We really do. Maybe we should take a trip.
At least 3, which
if it's ever
seems like a lot.
Reasonably okay for Americans to travel and then come home again. Maybe we'll travel to the Netherlands someday. We
can travel, but when we come back, they're going to be like, do you guys make political jokes? And we're going to be like, do we? I've spent the better...
Why, do you want to hear one?
I've spent the better part of a decade poking and prodding at the production and mixing of our album, but I finally pushed past the insecurities, and our record, Before All Implodes, has released April 4th and is now freely available on all streaming services as well as our YouTube channel. The styles on the record are a bit eclectic, ranging from Jack White-esque fuzzy stuff to ballads to folksy things, but I especially figured track 8 would be appropriate for this occasion. It's the only instrumental on the album. It's called Riptide and is our attempt at a little surf-inspired bop. I'm afraid the drip won't impress, but hopefully y'all will enjoy regardless. A Fender Hot Rod Deluxe 2 was used on every single track, from the cleanest to distortionist tones, with all the dirt coming from pedals I soldered up myself. Big shout out to the folks selling PCBs to make this possible in the first place. The Mad Bean Kingslayer, a pretty straightforward centaur clone. It's a nearly always on pedal with my setup, generally adding just a tiny bit of dirt. But I really dig the upper mid-range thing. In this case, it's also combined with a Mad Bean green bean for the lead tones, which is Mad Bean's take on the Tube Screamer. Also, of course, add a whole nother layering and producing voodoo. Page with info, which I will link below. Thanks for the entertainment. Keep it up. Hey, thanks for the song, Kylian. And if you want to send a song, just attach a file to an email and send it to us. Song.
That's a tidy little jam. I like the vibe, kind of a positive, sunny sort of sound to it. It sounds like music for a nice day.
Yeah, it felt very beachy.
Yeah, thanks for sending it.
Yep, thanks.
Bye, everybody.
Stay grounded.